WMBG. We are Williamsburg's radio station. How's it going, everybody? Ty Hodges here. It is Thursday. It is after 3:15. I've got the cowbell prepped and ready to go. That means it's time for the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Retro Daddy-O in Williamsburg. My cowbell is starting to die. I've done this too many times. It's starting to fade out on me, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. We'll have Big Boss buy us a new one. I am happy to welcome in Delanie Underwood in studio. She is the youngest performer we have had here on the Super Sound Showcase at the fresh age of 14. Delanie, welcome in.
Hello.
So I'm not used to interviewing a 14-year-old, so it staggered me to learn that you were just going to be a freshman in high school coming up, because I've heard you perform and you sound really good, and it was not what I expected from essentially a middle schooler at the time. So tell me, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing for 4 or 5 years, so like 9 or 10, and I started lessons around a year ago, so I'm mostly self-taught.
So you're self-taught. Wow.
Yeah.
How did you actually teach yourself? Because that's an incredible skill.
Just YouTube, really. That's kind of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a sign of the times right here. You can learn guitar just by YouTube and dedication. And at the age of 9 and 10, that's impressive. That's really impressive, because I know people my age, my elder, who have been trying to take guitar lessons for their whole lives, and they can't even play at all. So for you to have this kind of nailed down this young, it's an impressive thing. Does that ever, dawn on you like, hey, I'm pretty good at this for being this young?
Well, I feel like just because I've practiced so much that it feels like I've been playing for a lot longer than I have. Like, I used to play until my fingers were, like, torn apart. It was rough learning.
So how long would you practice a day, would you say, if you had to put, like, a number to it?
Like, depending on the day, like, 2 to 3 hours, like, a long time.
2 to 3. So basically after you got home from school, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm curious then, once you started developing that, what made you want to actively seek out performing and take music beyond just like a hobby?
Because I've always listened to music and I've always really loved it, and then I grew to kind of idolize the people that were performing, and after I went to a few concerts, I was like, this is what I definitely want to do with my life.
So, because we've had some older artists in here, I've asked them about their inspirations. They've given me some different bands here and there. I'm curious, what artists have inspired you?
Definitely 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco, the 1975, Ed Sheeran, just all genres.
Yeah, see, that's a different answer than what we've gotten before, and
just all over the place.
And that's interesting, because I have to imagine that's going to result in a very different sound as opposed to some of these older artists that we've brought in who are inspired by the Eric Claptons, the Kiss, all of these other older bands. My apologies to everyone listening who considers that music old. I meant no insult by it at all. So Delanie, what was the first time you actually stepped out and performed publicly?
This year, actually, earlier this school year, I did kind of a after-school talent show thing at my school, and that was the first time I ever performed in front of anybody other than, like, friends and family.
And what was that like for you?
Nerve-wracking. I was, like, shaking after I walked off the stage, but it was great.
And so where have you been since then? Is this something that you regularly do now?
Since then, I've performed at Second Sunday, and that's it, but I'm always writing and learning, and then I'm going to be playing more shows after this, hopefully.
And then, that's another aspect that we haven't even touched on yet. You not only sing, you not only play guitar, but you have also written some original music as well, and you will be playing some of that today.
Yes.
So what is it about the writing process that you enjoy?
Just kind of, it's different than anything else because you're creating something out of nothing and making it mean something. And it's when people can feel something out of something that you've made, it's really just different from anything else.
I am not musically inclined. I will never claim to be. So I'm going to ask someone who is then, which is harder for you, writing lyrics or writing the music to go along with it?
It kind of depends on the song, because sometimes you can write a full song and all the lyrics within an hour, and the guitar part will be a little bit slower, and sometimes it's completely the other way around.
And so how many songs have you written originally? Because it sounds like you've written quite a few then.
Well, good ones, like like maybe 20.
20 good songs?
Bad ones, like notebooks full.
That's a lot. That's a lot of songs. You're aware of how many songs that is for a 14-year-old to have written, right?
They're not necessarily all completely performance ready, but they do exist and they're there.
Okay. So I'm curious now, what is the favorite original that you've written?
Probably the one I'm going to play today, or one called Growing Old that I wrote recently on the ukulele.
Okay. And then on the flip side of that, what is the one song that you look back on that you wrote and you were kind of like, oh, why did I think that was great?
There are so many. I like throw them away. They're like gone. Like you don't even name them.
You've got a burn pile in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Just toss them on there and set them ablaze.
There are like shelves of just spiral notebooks just full of like pages like X'd out. Just...
So for the musically inclined, for someone who does write a lot of music, it sounds like, I know when I was in school, if I was paying attention, definitely like a good student, I would doodle in my notebook.
Oh, yeah.
Are you writing lyrics and trying to do that sort of thing, or are you?
I'm usually either doodling or just like scribbling random things.
Okay.
Because if I write, then I get too distracted.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't sure if the inspiration was just on at all times, but no, it actually sounds like you can stay focused. And
sometimes you do kind of like, you'll hear something and you're like, that's a cool word or that's a cool line, and you do kind of like scribble it down on your hand. But other than that, I don't really write out in public.
Okay, interesting. So more of a reclusive writer.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Like 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Wow.
Like late at night, like string like Christmas lights on, and that's it. That's
an interesting visual, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting up 3 a.m. Christmas lights on any time of the year. Who knows? Trying to get into the mind of a 14-year-old, it just won't work out. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Delanie Underwood. She is here as part of the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Retro Daddy-O in Williamsburg. And when we come back from this commercial break, Delanie is going to play some original music for us. Stay tuned. You are not going to want to miss it. We are back here in the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Retro Daddy. And there it is. My cowbell has officially died. Ladies and gentlemen, it is dead. R.I.P. Cowbell. It lived a wonderful life. Oh, we have the tiny cowbell. Listen to this puny little thing. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. I don't like that. Delanie Underwood here with us in studio. I'm not going to take up her valuable time talking about my dead cowbells. So, Delanie, you are about to perform some original music for us. Tell us a little bit about this song that you're about to sing.
I wrote this song around half a year ago, and there's really not much to it. It's a little bit weird because the capo's like halfway up the fretboard. But I just really
have no
like
idea what
the
that
melody.
means.
It means it's all the way up here.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
See, again, not musically inclined. I am ignorant of much of this. So what is the song called?
It's called Small Town.
Small Town. And is it about living in a small town, as I'm guessing?
A little bit. It's kind of just, some of it I just think sounds good, and then some of it has a lot of meaning. It's kind of a mix of both.
Okay. All right. Well, I am excited to hear it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Delanie Underwood here on the Super Sound Showcase, brought to you by Retro Daddy-O.
This world explode, then we can start again. We can't pretend there's nothing wrong. Take it a second at a time. Everything seems to move faster when I'm falling behind. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I've lost my mind. Oh, well. Ooh, I'll be just fine. Down the line, we're in a small town and we're all so afraid. So much on your mind, but you won't say anything. Why don't you speak it out loud instead of living in your head? Don't say you're fine if you're a minute from being dead. So many stories have been told. Everything moves too fast. I need to make these moments last. Gonna walk right off this road. It's not where I wanna go. It's not where I wanna go. I've lost my mind. Oh, well. Ooh, I'll be just fine down the line. We're in a small town and we're all so afraid. So much on your mind, but you won't say anything. Why don't you speak it out loud instead of living in your head? Don't say you're fine if you're a minute from being dead. I don't wanna lose you. 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 We're in a small town and we're all so afraid. So much on your mind, but you won't say anything. Why don't you speak it out loud instead of living in your head? Don't say you're fine if you're